I'm Dan Ramey with our special guest today. She's Jenn Thomas from the Ross County Humane Society. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Coming up here shortly, we'll talk about the building campaign that's been going on for the last year or so, and we're getting this close to having it done. Details are just ahead. But first, from our fine sponsors, Classic Brands.
Introducing Budweiser Zero. 0% alcohol, 0 grams of sugar, full Budweiser flavor. For all the moments you want a beer and need to stay on your game. Budweiser Zero, zero compromise.
Last time I saw you, it was a big day at McDonald's. Ron Fuster and Melody Fuster made a huge donation to your campaign.
Yes.
And the surgical unit is financially ready to go, right?
Yes. Yes. They've been huge supporters of the shelter since I've been there for 7 years. And, we were really, I was overwhelmed with their generosity and what it's going to mean for the community for years to come. So
when we talked about this early on, good golly, we've talked about a building for how many years
now? A lot
now?
of years.
But it started looking like it was going to come to fruition. The pandemic hits. Building costs go up, so you had to raise the extra amount of money. How close are we now?
So we have an estimated cost of around $2 million. It's up from the 1.5 that we had initially estimated, and we have pledged about 1.7 million. A lot of those funds we do already have in hand, so we're just waiting. By the end of the year, we'll have about $1.7 million towards the $2 million.
Unless someone steps up right now.
If anybody has an extra $300,000 and they just love animals in the community, I will be more than happy to meet with you.
We have talked in the past what this will mean to the community, but let's revisit it one more time because there was a point in time during the pandemic you had no dogs to take care of. Then suddenly a boom. Yeah. After the pandemic started loosening up, you started having people really letting dogs again loose.
Yeah, I think that what happened was during the pandemic, everybody got pets and vets' offices were overwhelmed. They were very busy during the pandemic. And so the surgery schedules for those kind of got pushed back. And I think what we're seeing now is the puppies that have come from those unfixed animals. It's not just our community, it's almost every community across the United States that is seeing an influx of intake. So it's just the backlash or it's backlog from, I think, the pandemic.
You've got a lot of money right now waiting to make this happen. A lot of shelters don't have what you're going to be getting. And I know other folks are hurting, but I'm just trying to tell people how special this is going to be for the area, because with the surgical unit, you'll be able to take care of spay or neuter. You don't have to set up mobile units or do it or anything like that. The convenience will be fantastic, and it's good for the animals and it's good for the county.
For sure. I think that, the main focus should be for us that it will allow for us to have access to surgery procedures for shelter animals. We have a wonderful, wonderful relationship with North Fork Animal Clinic, and we will continue to do that. But I think this suite will, relieve a little bit of their stress and pressure to squeeze us in for surgeries when we're calling them at the last minute. And long term, it will be a stream of income for the shelter to put back into its program. And it will also allow us to offer a low-cost spay-neuter option for the community. And it's desperately needed.
Yeah. And I got to thank the convenience for Dr. Lloyd and the rest of his staff to not have to worry about you coming in, making room for them, but in the same respect, them or you transferring animals back and forth. It'll all be in one location.
Yeah, it is. And again, we love North Fork. I don't have enough good things that I can say about them. And, this is not to take away from them or anything that they do. It's really just to be another resource for an underserved population in the community that maybe, I don't have costs for surgeries, but maybe they can't afford a $200 or $300 surgery. And that doesn't mean that they're not good pet owners. That's absolutely not the case. We just want to be able to provide those surgery costs for more people in our area.
It'll change up the planning that you have here. It'll change up how people transport the animals. You'll have a space for the dog warden.
Yeah.
Plenty of room, because right now they're sitting like this.
They're in like an
if
8x8 office with three, a warden and 2 deputies, and their space is almost tripling. It'll just make things better for the community, for people that have to come in and, you know, talk to them or buying tags or whatever the case may be. You know, it's a investment for them as well.
And then the last time we talked, which was at McDonald's that day, you didn't have a date for when you wanted to turn dirt, but I'm sure there's a number of people on the board. They're like, hey, let's get this started.
Everybody keeps asking me, when are you breaking ground? When are you breaking ground? The answer is, I don't know. I'm hoping to break ground in spring of 2023. Will it be sooner than that? I don't know. I'm waiting on our architectural drawings. We did hire an architect firm that has designed other shelters, and it actually designed the shelter that we are modeling ours after. His wife is a veterinarian, so he designed her clinic, and we're waiting on those drawings and things so that we can just start to go forward faster than we have been.
So, and this is not a knock against the folks who built the original building that you're in right now, but that was, 50 years ago or more?
So the building itself was built in the late 90s. And from what I can tell, based on the documents that I have, they kind of went in with no plan. They just said, we have X amount of dollars. We got a general contractor who didn't, you know, at that time have the knowledge for what animal sheltering should look like.
Right.
And they built a pole barn with drains that don't work. Again, you know, at that time in the 90s, like that was what, you know, rural Ohio had. And I think that, you know, people get a little frustrated with me because we have been slow, but I want to make sure that we are doing the very best that we can for the community and the shelter long term. You know, I won't be here forever probably, and I want to make sure that in 30 years, like, somebody doesn't look back and say, why did they do this? Or, you know, I want the building to, you know, withstand and be an asset for the community, and not just, look what we did, we built a new shelter.
Yeah, I overguesstimated the years there, but
yeah.
So this facility that is being built could very well easily last 100 years or more.
I mean, the standards in animal sheltering change. If you think about, like, you know, think back to what the shelter was in the late 90s and think about what it is now, like, you know, we're doing different things than they did. And I'm sure that in 30 years, like, animal sheltering might look different. In my dream, like, we wouldn't have a need for a shelter, but I don't think that that's ever going to be the case. So, I mean, I think 50 years, 100 years, I don't know. It definitely needs to last longer than the current shelter that we have, which is rusting from the ground and falling apart.
Yeah, I've been given special access in there, and I wanted to help out right then and there as best I could, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be such an improvement for the dogs, which is going to allow us to, you know, provide the community with happier, healthier, more mentally sound pets, and the staff, the people that work there. You know, we come in and day out, and, you know, we're not the highest paid people in the community, and, you know, we're working in conditions where the walls are falling down. The other day, a staff person had a ceiling tile that fell on them. And, you know, it's just those types of things. Like, it's just going to be an investment and an improvement. It's going to change everybody's, I think, attitudes and just the general mental well-being of everybody and everything that's in that building.
Well, I know when you do turn dirt, it'll be a very anxious time.
I'll probably cry because I am known for crying.
Everyone will want to see this come to fruition. However, you will continue to have to keep operations going. So
Correct.
This building's going to have to last you until everything's ready to open and they hand keys over to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's been standing. We've been putting Band-Aids on it for as long as I've been there, and we'll continue to make it work until we get our new building.
Now, we've been talking about the building fund and campaign that's been going on, but you still have operation costs you have to cover and everything. So people can always help out with any type of donation, and they can probably designate where they want that money to go to as well.
Sure, they can if they would like. A lot of people I don't think realize, like, the dog warden and the Humane Society are not the same organization. The county operates the dog warden department, and they rent space from us. Our organization helps about 1,300 to 1,400 dogs a year, some cats, sometimes chickens and goats, but mostly dogs. And a lot of people get really shocked when I tell them, like, it's $500,000 a year. Like, our budget is $500,000 a year. And the majority of that comes from donations and adoptions. So, it's tough when you run a capital campaign to be like, hey, we really need this new building. But, also we still need the support. If you don't have $10,000 to donate or $50,000 to donate, like $5, a bag of dog food for the community food pantry, a bottle of bleach or laundry detergent. Those are all things that, even though I'm asking people for $300,000 at this point, like, we still have operating expenses, and those are largely funded by our community. So yeah, donations are always welcome.
And I know some companies, and for instance, our parent company, Litter Quality Propane, has Operation Whiskers, which donates a portion of the proceeds from all the propane they sell to the Ross County Humane Society. But it's not just Ross County. Litter takes care of a wide range area here in Ohio. And if we've got customers, and I say we because, again, it's the parent company, if we've got customers in Fairfield County or Scioto County, Vinton County, wherever, that money will go to those humane societies.
Yeah, we do get those checks. We love to get those checks because sometimes we don't know when they're going to come, and we're like, oh, we got the litter check. So, we're very thankful for any support that we get. Again, whether it's $3,000, $300,000, or $5, it's all relevant to what somebody can do. And a $300,000 donation, while it's great, is no better than somebody who gives us $5 because that's what they can give. Like, it means a lot to us anytime somebody supports us in any way.
And I brought up what I did, really talking to other businesses that might be watching right now. If you're looking for a way to make a difference in the community, why not help with the operating costs?
Sure. If you're an animal lover or you care about the community, what we do is, while it benefits animals, like, our focus is making animals' lives better. Like, we're making lives of people better too by adopting dogs to them. And, we care about the community, and we want people to, know that they can come to us for help when they need help with their pets. And so we're not just a pound. We're an organization that cares about the community as a whole.
I know folks that have not been to your website before. We've got a couple of slides I want to share with you. This is what you'll see when you first get there. And you'll see right there it says, "Together, we're building a better future." If you click on that, it'll take you to their campaign page where you can learn more about how you can make donations. It explains what the difficulties are that you have with your existing building, but also gives people an idea of what you're going to look at. This is not the actual structure, but this is a rendering. Similar.
So yeah, our building is based off of one of our partner organizations, and they consulted with top, designers and animal sheltering. So, and they've already made the mistakes and are able to come to us and say, hey, we did this, but you need to do this. So our current building has no windows. The dogs are in the back with fluorescent lighting. The new building, we're very focused on natural light. It's healthier for the dogs. Air quality, things like, water or the cleanliness and things like that. So, the kennels will be larger. They're split up into different wings so that not everybody's like in one area, barking and making noise and all of those things. So it's there. I could go on for hours about what the improvements over our current building are going to be in this new building.
I will tell you, just from our own circumstance here inside the Litter Media Loft, we don't have windows here to be able to see outside. And it's one thing, we've got a window in the office area that when they open up the garage door, we can see a little daylight, but there's times where I kind of feel like one of those dogs.
Yeah.
I want somebody to come see me.
Again, that's the difference between, animal sheltering changes in the late 90s. Like, they were just concerned about having a place to put the dogs to come in. They weren't, they didn't know enough to know like their mental well-being is very important to putting out healthy, safe dogs into the community. And so we care about that type of thing. We want the dogs to be happy while they're there. We don't want them just being in jail or prison or whatever you would like to call it. So it's, it's a constant, it's just a learning process all the time, and we want to do the best that we can.
If you would like to help out, the scroller up above us here has the web address, rosscountyhumanesociety.org. And if you go there, you'll find your phone number, you'll find all the information, your hours of operation. Keep in mind that when you go to the Humane Society, it's by appointment.
Correct. We are going to tell you that you need to apply online. We are not open for walkthroughs. If you need to come in and ask us questions, like, we're obviously there for that. We don't allow people to walk through the back for numerous reasons. It's very slick back there. It's very noisy. It's a liability for us. But yeah, we do everything online, and then we'll schedule an appointment to come in and we'll help you find a dog. Like, it's a really, it's pretty quick and simple process.
You've allowed me to come in and shoot video, and we share that video every once in a while with people to see the dogs and everything. And I was there during feeding time, and they're pretty loud at feeding time.
We have to wear earplugs back there for safety. And if you look back at your footage that you've posted, I bet all of it has music or sound dubbed over it because it's so loud you can't hear yourself think back there.
Yeah, but they love the attention as well.
They do.
They certainly do. Anything that we have missed you wanted to share?
No, just that, we're super thankful for everybody that has, supported us in this endeavor. And I'm glad that we are as close as we are. I would like to go into this with the project completely funded. So I know there's somebody out there who is dying to give me $300,000. But I think that even if you have $5 to donate, whether it's to the operations or to the capital campaign, we greatly appreciate it.
But if you happen to hit the state lottery, feel free to keep the Ross County Humane Society in your
Absolutely.
thoughts.
If anybody needs help with estate planning, let me know.
Very good. Jenn Thomas, thank you for stopping in today.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching. Coming up in just a moment, we'll have another edition of Litter Media Live, our daily edition at 11 o'clock. Mike Smith is in the house. We'll visit with him here shortly. Thanks for watching Litter Media Live.